And she was like, oh, yeah? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And then she just pushed me down.
That wasn't a movie scene. It was a real story shared by one of the biggest female rappers in the world. Behind the fame, luxury, and millions of fans, some of hip-hop's biggest women have lived through shocking family secrets, painful childhoods, and heartbreaking tragedies that most people have never heard about. Today, we're uncovering 5 female rappers whose real-life stories are even darker than their music. Let's get started. Nicki Minaj. When people think of Nicki Minaj, they picture colorful wigs, hit records, and one of the greatest female rap careers of all time. But behind the success was a family story filled with controversy. In 2017, Nicki's older brother, Jelani Mirage, was convicted of repeatedly abusing his 11-year-old stepdaughter. According to court testimony, the abuse happened over several months while the girl's mother was away at work. The victim later testified in court, and even her 8-year-old brother became a witness after reportedly seeing one of the incidents. Investigators also claim Jelani threatened the young boy, warning him not to tell anyone. As the trial continued, the DNA evidence became one of the biggest talking points. However, the prosecution's own DNA expert testified that the results were inconclusive because DNA from 3 different contributors was found in a single sample. Nicki's mother, Carol Mirage, later spoke publicly about the case.
For the people.
For the people.
Said, according to the transcript, inconclusive. Now, the last time I checked, inconclusive tells me one cannot conclude or come to
arguing that many media outlets ignored that important detail. She also questioned how some of the evidence had been collected and claimed the defense believed the accusations were part of an attempt to obtain money connected to Nicki's success. Carol even shared disturbing memories of witnessing the children's mother physically disciplining them, saying the children were often left terrified for days afterward. In January 2020, Jelani Mirage was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Throughout the legal process, reports claimed that Nicki continued supporting her brother financially, but this wasn't the only painful chapter in her family's history. Nicki has openly revealed that her father struggled with drug addiction, abused her mother, and even set their family home on fire when she was a child. Growing up, she dreamed that becoming successful would save her family from that nightmare. She achieved worldwide fame, but not every family story has a happy ending. Missy Elliott. When people think of Missy Elliott, they remember the groundbreaking music videos, hit songs, and the incredible impact she had on hip-hop. But behind all that success was a childhood no child should ever have to experience. Missy grew up in a home filled with fear. She has revealed that her father, Ronnie Elliott, physically abused her mother almost every day. As a little girl, she constantly witnessed bruises, black eyes, and even a dislocated shoulder, never knowing when the next violent outburst would happen. The fear became so intense that Missy refused to stay overnight at friends' houses because she was terrified something might happen to her mother while she wasn't there. One heartbreaking memory has stayed with her forever. She recalled a moment when her father forced both her and her mother to stand outside without clothes while threatening them. Missy was only a child, crying and begging him not to kill her mother. When she was 14 years old, her mother finally escaped the abusive relationship. But even after leaving, the emotional scars remained. Sadly, that wasn't the only trauma Missy carried. She later revealed that when she was just 8 years old, a 16-year-old cousin repeatedly abused her for nearly a year. At such a young age, she knew something was wrong but didn't understand what was happening or how to ask for help. For many years, she kept those painful experiences a secret while becoming one of the biggest names in music. Eventually, she decided to speak publicly about everything she had been through. Missy explained that opening up helped her begin healing, and she encouraged her mother to do the same so their story could inspire other survivors.
She went open about the abuse. I was like, this is our secret. You don't tell the world what happened. And it was like, Mom, we have to let people know that we made it. She says, that's how you deal with it, Mom. You get it out in the open. I have to get these scars off of me. You need to get these scars off.
She later became a spokesperson for Break the Cycle, an organization that supports victims of domestic violence.
Having those conversations was very therapeutic. It was a major release. I can breathe now. And I feel.
Although she says those memories never completely disappear, she refused to let them define her life. Instead of allowing her painful past to break her, Missy Elliott turned it into the strength that made her one of hip-hop's greatest legends, Lil Kim. Lil Kim built her career on confidence. She always appeared fearless, strong, and impossible to intimidate, but the truth is that strength was created by a childhood filled with pain. Kim grew up under the strict control of her father, Linwood Jones, a former military man. According to Kim, their home was filled with constant verbal and physical abuse, leaving very little room for love or affection. Eventually, her parents separated, and Kim moved in with her mother. But life didn't get any easier. Her mother later revealed that there was a time when they had nowhere to live.
I eventually started living out the trunk of my car, It's not something that I'm very proud of, but I did what I thought I had to.
And were forced to sleep inside their car just to survive. Believing it would provide a more stable environment, the court eventually sent Kim back to live with her father. Unfortunately, things only became worse. When Kim was around 14 years old, an argument with her father turned so violent that she nearly stabbed him in self-defense. After that incident, she left home for good. She dropped out of school and spent time living on the streets of Brooklyn, struggling every day just to survive. At one point, she even exchanged her body for a place to stay while becoming surrounded by people deeply involved in street life. Those difficult years were hidden from the public. Fans only saw the glamorous lifestyle, hit records, expensive outfits, and fearless personality. Very few knew about the homeless teenager fighting to stay alive before music changed everything. When the notorious B.I.G. discovered her talent, he wasn't meeting someone who had lived an easy life. He was giving an opportunity to someone who had already survived more than most people could imagine. Even after becoming famous, Kim continued facing abusive relationships, and one former partner reportedly broke her nose during an assault. Years later, people criticized her appearance and cosmetic surgeries without knowing the painful experiences that had shaped her life. Despite everything, Kim eventually chose forgiveness. When her father developed Alzheimer's disease, she became one of the people who cared for him until the end. After everything she had endured, she still found the strength to be there for him. And that says more about Lil Kim's character than any headline ever could. Cardi B. Cardi B has always been known for her fearless personality. She speaks her mind, takes risks, and never seems afraid of what people think. But once you hear what her childhood was really like, that fearless attitude starts to make perfect sense. Cardi was raised in the Bronx by strict Caribbean immigrant parents. Money was limited, and discipline inside the house was taken very seriously. She has openly admitted that her mother often punished her physically. Looking back, Cardi says she understood it as tough love and believes it helped keep her away from the dangerous lifestyle surrounding many kids in her neighborhood. But one day, everything changed. For months, Cardi had been hiding the truth about how she was making money. She told her mother she was babysitting for a wealthy family and earning around $100 a day helping children with their homework. Her mother believed the story, until one argument exposed everything.
And we was arguing, and I was like, oh, it's your fault, cause you kicked me out the house. Now this is why I'm stripping. And she was like, oh yeah? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And then she is.
During the fight, Cardi admitted she had been working as a stripper after being kicked out of the house. It became one of the most shocking stories Cardi has ever shared publicly. Soon after, another disagreement involving Cardi and her sister Hennessy led to her leaving home completely. For a period of time, she had nowhere to go. Stripping wasn't part of a dream to become famous. It was simply how she survived after losing the only home she had. Today, people remember the Grammy Awards, the hit songs, and the global success. But before any of that happened, Cardi B was just a young woman fighting every single day to build a better life from almost nothing. Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion has never hidden the pain of losing her mother. She's spoken about it in interviews, shared it through her music, and admitted that it's something she still carries every single day. But long before that heartbreaking loss, tragedy had already become a part of her life. For most of Megan's childhood, her father, Joseph Pete Jr., was in prison on drug-related charges. During her early years, the only way she could see him was by visiting him behind bars. When he was finally released, Megan was around 8 years old, and the two quickly formed a close bond. She has often described him as her best friend. Sadly, they only had 7 years together. When Megan was just 15 years old, her father was killed in a shooting, leaving her to face one of the biggest losses of her life while she was still in high school.
I had lost my mom, so that's, a thing that's really heavy on me all the time. And like I said, I just try to keep my close people around me because they definitely.
Years later, heartbreak struck again. Her mother, Holly Thomas, known as Hollywood in the underground rap scene, wasn't just her biggest supporter.
Go through it every day, but I know how to keep going because my mama would have wanted me to keep going. She would be like, Megan, get your ass up. Like, she was definitely hard on me, and I just have her in the back.
She was also the person who inspired Megan to pursue music. As Megan's career began taking off, Holly became her manager and helped guide her every step of the way. But in 2019, just as Megan's name was becoming known around the world, Holly passed away after battling a brain tumor. Despite losing both of her parents, Megan refused to give up. She has said she keeps pushing forward because she knows that's exactly what her mother would have wanted. Even today, she says she can still hear her mother's voice encouraging her to keep going. Instead of letting tragedy define her, Megan Thee Stallion turned her pain into the strength that continues to drive her career. Behind the fame, these women carried stories far darker than most people ever imagined. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold celebrity stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.